Hey folks, Kevin here with Kev's Castle and CastleRemodel.com. And in this video I am going to show you how to install a bathroom fan. Also, in the description below I have a free checklist on home maintenance. So if you are a homeowner and you're looking to figure out exactly what you need to do on a seasonal basis or an annual basis or even beyond that, I have a link to a free checklist down below for you to check out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That'll help others be able to find the video and see this content as well. And if you want to get more content like this in the future, hit that subscribe button. What I'm doing here on CastleRemodel.com and Kev's Castle is I am going to be showing you how you can turn your home into your own sanctuary. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get more videos like this that walk you through the steps of maintaining your home, improving your home, and building your own private sanctuary. Now let's get to the video. Flip the power off to the wire that you're going to be working on before beginning any project like this. Now I'm holding the box up to the location that it's going to be installed at so I can mark the ceiling where it's going to lie. I was making sure that I know where the joist is above so that I can make the hole for the box as close to it as possible. What that does is it allows me to attach the box to the joist later in this video. You can use a sheetrock saw to cut the hole for the box to fit into. Go around the perimeter of your marks and try not to go too far outside of the mark because you don't want the hole to be too big, but it's okay if you go on the inside. You could always take more off later. After the hole for the fan is cut, I am using an electric drill with an extension on it to drill a pilot hole. I'm doing this in the center of the joist, and then I'll go outside and drill a 4-inch hole for the ducting to fit through. This 4-inch hole is pretty tight with the size duct that I'm using, but it'll still fit. I have to get through 2 layers of the deck and the exterior of the house in order to fit it through. It takes a little time and effort for me to feed the duct through the hole that I just drilled, and I want to save you from having to watch me do all this work, but as you can see, I'm feeding the duct through and I already have the flapper vent attached to the other end. So I'm going to push the duct all the way through and then stick the vent in the opening and screw that on. I'm using 4 wood screws to attach this vent to the opening that I just made. This will keep it in place, and then I'll go around the perimeter with some silicone to make sure that no pests get in, as well as keeping cold air out. One thing I did off camera was I unscrewed the 3 screws that were down inside here. There's 3 of them. I took them all out so that we can pull the fan right out, and once you do that, you also want to disconnect this one right here. Just by pulling it straight out. Now you have the box and the fan are separated. On the box there is this attachment for the air duct. It's kind of like a funnel. As you can see at the top of the box, so this is how it's going to sit in the ceiling. This is the orientation, and it'll be in this direction. The top of it has this little tab on the attachment. I'm just going to pull this straight out, and you can tell the way that it's oriented based on the flapper on the inside, you can see that it naturally closes that way. But if I were to flip it over, it stays in the open position. You want it to be able to close when there's no air flowing through. It'll just stay shut like that, but then when the air starts flowing, it opens. So that's the direction that it's going to be oriented. I want to shorten the length of this tube because there's just too much of it to put up in the ceiling. So to do that, I'm using a pair of scissors to cut the foil that is made up of the tube. But inside the foil, there's also a metal wire, and I'm using a pair of wire cutters to cut that. Next, I am using duct tape to attach that flapper vent to the tube. It's easier to do now than when you have the box up there. You want to make sure that you are able to work on it easily. On the outside of the box, there is this plate that is covering the wires. What we're doing is just removing this screw on the outside. We want to save the screw for later. So remove this and don't lose it. And then this plate just comes right off. And now you have access to the wires. I'm using wire strippers to expose about an inch of the black and white wires to make the connections. I now need one of the access holes on the cover plate to be open so that I can feed the wires through. I'm using a flat screwdriver and carefully prying it back and forth. This is easy for you to make a slip and cut your hand, so be very careful. I chose to use the blank that's coming from the side of the box, not the one coming from the top, because that's how my wire is going to be oriented. If you were working up in an attic space, it might be easier to run the wire coming from the top. But since we are between the upstairs and this level, I'm going to come in from the side. And so we're just going to pop that one open. I'll take all of these wires, run it through that, and I'm just going to leave that off for now. The black coming from the ceiling is connected to the black and the blue here. I'm using a wire nut. Wire nuts do not come with this model, so you will have to have some when you purchase the unit. This white one coming out of the fan is a little short, so I am going to make it a little bit bigger. Those of you who are familiar with my channel know that after I put the wire nuts on, I don't like to leave it this way because I feel like when you move it around and you're getting everything oriented and put away, it's easy for the wires to come loose, and that could be a fire hazard or whatnot, or it might just not work. So after I have the nuts on, I take a piece of electrical tape, it doesn't have to be very big, and wrap it around the base of the nut and the wire so it's overlapping both, and it connects the wire to the wire nut. So as you can see, I have it so that it is part way on the wire and the nut. You want to be really careful because the edges of this metal is sharp and it can easily cut through this protective casing on these wires. After putting all the wire nuts through the hole in the plate, I am sticking them inside the box, and then I'm getting ready to put the screw on the plate to hold it in place. I just put a piece of tape right on the top of this where it connects to the ductwork just to hold it in place. I'm putting 2 or 3 screws into the side of the box to make sure that it's secure to the joist. Start by attaching the cable to the box so that the electrical is hooked up first, and then we're going to feed the fan into the box. I'm using an extension to be able to get in there and attach the fan to the box. I have a link in the description below if you want to check out which one I'm using. Now let's turn the breaker back on. Hey, it's working. The last step is going to be install this exterior cover plate, and to do so we will start off by plugging it in, but these mounting springs are what's going to hold it up. And to use the mounting springs, you will squeeze them together. You'll have to use both hands, squeezing both of them together just like that. And then there are mounting clips right in here that they will fit right up into. So let's that clips right on. Okay. There you have it. Installing that bathroom fan is just that easy. Give this video a thumbs up if you got value out of it, and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this in the future. Also, don't forget that I have that home maintenance checklist down in the description below for you to get your free copy of the home maintenance checklist. Just click the link and it'll walk you through all the steps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.